We want to tell the time shown on this clock. Let's remember together this clock or any analog clock, this is called an analog clock, has two arms, a long arm and a short arm. The long arm is called the minutes arm. The short arm is called the hours arm. Whenever the minutes arm is pointing to 12, I call it o'clock. O'clock. Now let's look at the hours arm. The hours arm is pointing to 4. So this clock is showing 4 o'clock. This clock is showing the time 4 o'clock. Okay, this clock is called an analog clock. Any clock that has two arms, has two hands, a long hand and a short hand, is called an analog clock. We have another type of clock, it's called the digital clock. The digital clock, it only shows numbers, it doesn't have any hands, just like this one. Okay, so I write here the hour and I write here the minutes. What is my hour? The hour is the number the hour's hand is pointing to. What about the minutes? The minutes, if the minutes arm is pointing to 12, which is the o'clock, so the minutes are 0. It is exactly 4 o'clock. This arm didn't start to take its turn, so it is 0. So 4 o'clock on the digital clock will be 4 and 4 hours and 0 in the minutes place. 4 and 0 minutes. If the minutes hand is pointing to the 6, just like this clock, the minutes hand is pointing to the 6. It is half past. I call it half past. But half past what? Let's look at the hours hand. The hours hand is between 7 and 8. So it was 7 o'clock and the two hands moved until they reached 7:30. So the time shown here is 7:30. Yes, okay, so it was 7 o'clock and now I have half an hour. The minutes arm moved all this way and stopped here in the middle between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So I call it 7:30. This is the analog clock. So the analog clock here reads 7:30. What about the digital clock? I will write first the hour, which is 7. I will write it first and then the two dots, and then how many minutes here when the minutes hand is pointing to 6. So how many minutes? Yes, 30 minutes. So if I write this time on a digital clock, it will be 7:30. 7:30. To practice the half past, let's solve resource pack page 7. We will match each time written here to its right clock. The first time here is 3:30. Which clock here shows 3:30? Look with me at all the clocks. Which clock shows 3:30? Yes, it's this clock. Why? Because the minutes hand is pointing to 6 and the hours hand is between the 3 and the 4, in the middle between 3 and 4. So it was 3 o'clock, and then the clock moved half an hour, and it didn't reach 4 o'clock yet. So it is half past 3. Half past 8. Which one shows half past 8? Think with me. Yes, this one. Super. This one is half past 8. Okay. Half past 9. Where is half past 9? Yes, exactly this one. Half past 12. Which one shows half past 12? Yes, it is this clock. Resource pack page 8. We are going here to fill the missing blanks. Number A. First look at this clock. Okay. The hour hand is between. Where is the hour hand? It's the short hand. It is between 1 and 2. Exactly. Between 1 and 2. What about the minute hand? It's the long hand. It's pointing to 6. Yes, that's it. Can you read this time? The time is half past 1. Yes, super. The second one, the hour hand, this short one, is between 6 and 7. Yes. The minute hand, this long hand, is pointing to 6. Can you read this time? It is half past 6. Half past 6. Okay, this is the analog clock. We want to write it on the digital clock. Here, the digital clock. How shall I write it on the digital clock? First, I will write the hour. The hour is 6. And how many minutes? Yes, half past is 30 minutes. So this clock is reading 6:30 on the digital clock. What about the one before it? It is 1. The hour is 1, and it is half past, so it's 30 minutes. So it is 1:30. So this clock is 1:30, and the second clock reads 6:30 on the digital clock. The last one here, the hour hand is between 9 and 10. The minute hand is pointing to 6. Can you read this time? It is half past 9. Okay, how do you write it on the digital clock? First, I write the hour. The hour is 9, and it is half past, so it is 30 minutes. So the time here is 9:30.